So now we're going to install Python and Eclipse on a Mac. So this is the Python download page, and you'll see I've already downloaded Python 3.1.2 Mac OS X installer disk image. And so if you're on a Mac, that's the one that you want to download. If the version number is a little bit higher, if it's a later version, go ahead and install the later version. That should work just fine. And then you'll want to download from the Eclipse download page. And Eclipse is written in Java, and it's actually a Java development environment. And so you'll see that there's a lot of different choices. If you're a Java developer and you want to install one of these other ones, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. For my purposes, I'm just getting the Eclipse Classic because I'm really just using it for Python development today. And you'll notice that when I run the mouse over this, it highlights the one for Mac OS X Cocoa. And that's really the one that you want to install. So I've already downloaded that as well. And here's my downloads folder. And I've got the Eclipse downloaded and I have the Python downloaded. So we'll go ahead and close the browser. And we're going to start by installing Python. So I'll double click on the installer and I'll double click on the Python M package. And I'll say continue and continue and continue and agree and install. I'm going to install this in the default location. Type in my password. Mac OS X already comes with Python installed, but it's Python 2. And so you really need to install Python 3 for this course because this course is about Python 3. That installation is done and I can unmount this. Now I just want to go ahead and go out to my applications folder and I'm going to find Python 3.1 folder. And in there, I'm going to find idle. And I'm going to drag that to my dock because we're going to be using that. We'll go ahead and we'll open it. It says Python 3.1.2 and that's what we're looking for. So Python is installed and working on this Mac. I'll quit idle and we're going to go ahead now and install Eclipse. So I'm going to double click on the Eclipse installer and this is going to unarchive it and it'll unarchive the tar file which is inside of the GZ file. And I've got this folder and all I need to do at this point is drag this whole folder to my applications folder. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to find the folder called Eclipse. And inside of that folder there's the Eclipse application. I'm going to drag that to my dock and run it. Say go ahead and open that. Now there's a few things we need to do to configure Eclipse. First thing, we're going to select a workspace. I'm going to allow the default. You're welcome to use whatever folder works for you. I'm going to select the checkbox to use as a default so it doesn't ask me again. And now before I do anything else, when Eclipse starts up under the help menu, I'm going to go to install new software. And I'm going to select this link that says available software sites. And I'm going to add one. And this is for PyDev. And the URL is pydev.org/updates with an S at the end. Say OK, and we see that gets added there. And I say OK. And then all I need to do to select that is come up here and type pydev in just the first couple of letters, and I'll get this here. And I can double click on that. It says pending, and it finds pydev. So you want to check pydev. You don't need to check the mylen integration unless you know what that is. And you're going to be using that. And I'll select next, pydev for Eclipse, and next. And I want to accept the terms of the license and finish. And here we go. This should take just a moment. Get the security warning. You want to say OK. And it is strongly recommended that you restart Eclipse. There's no reason not to. So I'm just going to select yes, and Eclipse will restart. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the workbench. That's this icon over here at the right. And I'm going to maximize this on my workspace. You'll see over here we have Java selected. I'm going to select Other and PyDev and OK. And because I'm not going to be doing any Java development, I'm just going to right-click on Java and select Close. And then I can move this over, and there's my PyDev workspace. Now, before we get started, I need to go into Preferences, and under PyDev, and interpreter Python, we need to add our Python interpreter. And this is so PyDev knows where to look for libraries, what sort of grammar to use, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. I'm going to browse. It's under user and local and bin and Python 3.1. And that's an alias, and it's supposed to be. And so when I say OK, it actually goes and it finds what the alias was pointing at. And under interpreter name, I'm just going to type Python 3.1. I'm going to say OK, and it'll say OK. Now, if you're also going to be doing Python 2 development, you might want to add that interpreter as well. I know I'm not going to be, so I'm going to leave it like this. So now I say OK, and it goes and it finds all of the frameworks, and it finds all the libraries, and it does all of this stuff. And now that's installed. So we're getting closer. At this point, we want to go back into the preferences, and under PyDev and under editor, see this thing that says hover, and see it says show doc strings. I uncheck that. I find that very distracting. It's up to you if you want to uncheck that or not. What it does is whenever you hover over a object in Python, it'll show you the entire documentation in a little pop-up for that object. I'm sure some people find that very helpful. I find that it gets in the way, so I uncheck that. And also up here in General and under Editors and Text Editors, I want to check Show Line Numbers. I find that very useful, and I think you will too. So now we say OK, and over here in the PyDev Package Explorer, right-click and say New Project, and select PyDev, and select PyDev Project, and Next. And under Interpreter, you want to select the Python 3.1 interpreter. And under grammar version, you want to select 3.0 and make sure it says Python for the project type, and type in the name of project. I'm going to call this Python 3 Essential Training, and select Finish. And now I have this project here, and I want to right-click on the project and say New Folder, and the parent folder will already be selected as Python 3 Essential Training, and then select the Advance button and select Link to Folder in the System. Now I'm going to select Browse, and on my desktop I have my exercise files folder. So you'll want to select that wherever it is you put yours. I find the desktop to be very convenient for this. I'm going to press Open, and so what this will do is this will add my exercise folders to this project folder without actually copying the folder. And so it'll be just linked to the folder, and it'll use it in place without making another copy of it. So I'm going to say Finish, and there it is. Now we'll just open up Chapter 2 and double-click on hello.py. And the first time you open something up after just installing Eclipse and PyDev and everything, it might take it a moment. And then there it is. We have our Hello World. It's a very simple Python program. The whole purpose of this program is just as an exercise in getting your development environment running. So this is exactly what it's designed for. So when I select Run, it'll ask me to run as, and I'll select Python Run and say OK, and there we have it. There's our result, Hello World. So this tells us that Python is installed, that Eclipse is installed, that PyDev is installed, Python interpreter is configured within Eclipse and PyDev, and the entire environment is running. So now you have a working Eclipse environment where you can follow along with the exercises and do your own Python development.